Okay, so I really like playing video games and stuff, right? But there's a lot of things that I realize in the video game industry now that kind of gets me concerned about a few things. And here's a video about what I wanted to talk about. So, as we all know, Grand Theft Auto 6 is around the corner, well, kind of around the corner, right? And everything is kind of, everyone's excited for it and everything, And I like Rockstar games because they have a really good reputation and everything. And I did enjoy playing a Red Dead Redemption 2 with my buddy. He kind of showed me that game online. I also enjoyed Grand Theft Auto 5. I also played Grand Theft Auto 4 and I really enjoyed. San Andreas was fun. A little bit of Vice City and everything. And my all-time favorite Rockstar game, I gotta say, is a very underrated game, but it was popularized by the YouTubers back in like 2010s. Bully, I love that game, man. Like, at least the PC version was kind of popular. Bully Scholarship Edition or just Bully on PS2 was like my favorite game. It still is one of my favorite all-time Rockstar games. This topic was inspired by Paulie Walnuts. He's actually a really good COD YouTuber, makes some really fun videos about the job stuff and economy, and he actually made a very excellent video about GTA 6. And there's some things I kind of want to say about it too that really inspired me to make this video. So Rockstar Games kind of reminds me a lot like Square Enix in the past couple of years, right? When it comes to sequels, man, Square Enix takes a good long time to make a sequel. It kind of gets annoying too. Like, for example, Kingdom Hearts 3 is a really big one, right? Kingdom Hearts 2 was released like 13 years ago before Kingdom Hearts 3 came out. And there was a lot of hype around it and everything. There was a lot of questions if the fans, people were, if Square Enix was going to make this shit, right? And what kind of worries me is that when Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, no matter how big that hype was, man, it just wasn't going to live up to it. And unfortunately, Kingdom Hearts 3 felt kind of rushed in some ways because it felt like a lot of filler was in the Disney worlds without involving the main story as much as the previous games did and stuff. They kind of rushed all the main plot games all in one world at the end of the game, and a lot of people were disappointed. And I have a feeling this is going to happen with similar to GTA 6 because the GTA 5, it's been like damn near also 13 years. It's been about, I think, 11 to 12 years since the fifth game came out. And it worries me a little bit because there's a lot of hype surrounding around it. And the worst part is it was getting delayed massively and everyone was begging for a release date and everything. And it keeps getting worse with the release date. And it doesn't help that, that this was like the first game where people were starting to leak gameplay and shit because they just couldn't wait anymore. And it also doesn't help that Rockstar is getting hella stingy with modding now, especially with Grand Theft Auto 5 and everything. And their big cash cow is still Grand Theft Auto Online and everything. So who knows how all that will translate in the next big line Grand Theft Auto game and everything. And there's a lot of questions surrounding it too. Like, what if somehow GTA 6 looks great graphically, but it still flops, on a game standpoint? Like, don't get me wrong, man, seeing the review trailer and everything, the game looked really fun and looked really cool graphically, but we really have not seen a lot of gameplay still, and we don't know if that shit will ever live up. And also, it was a really huge deal with GTA 5 with 3 playable characters and everything, with very memorable characters too. So it'd be kind of hard to top those type of creativity with the characters and everything. Now, Grand Theft Auto 5 was not a perfect game by any means. There was like some things that were better physics-wise in Grand Theft Auto 4, but holy shit, dude. Like, it really expanded the whole world and everything. And don't get me wrong, GTA 6 taking place in Tampa Bay is kind of cool and everything. So a lot of people who are very inspired by that will be able to see that. Or people that live there will know exactly what area is which, I should say. But one thing I will say is that other gaming companies like Square Enix, man, they've been having this habit of releasing a game with not a lot of content. It gets really disappointing, and then all the main good shit comes later in DLC, and you charge them another $30 for the whole package. And that's the biggest problem with modern games, anyways. But this thing could happen with GTA 6. What if the whole main game comes out, and then all of a sudden GTA 6 online comes separately now? Because I remember you could get GTA Online separate with Grand Theft Auto 5 on the PC version, I believe. And don't get me started on the potential microtransactions a lot of the fans would be willing to pay for and everything. That alone sounds like a giant disaster. Yeah, it's cool that people want to, pay for microtransactions, but really, is it worth it for Grand Theft Auto Online, man? Especially for the next-gen experience? I don't know, man. When it comes to Kingdom Hearts 3 and everything, I've learned my lesson about video game hype, man, and never to fall for any video game hype ever again, at least in the modern AAA gaming industry. Because nowadays, man, it's okay to be hyped for a game, but don't hype it to the point where you're gonna fucking glaze it and be disappointed at the long run. Because it sounds like an abusive cycle now when it comes to a lot of new games. Now that Rockstar is even exponentially even bigger than they were before the fifth game came out, because don't get me wrong, back then they were huge, but now they're even bigger. Now the demand is even higher than ever. So there's a good possibility they could get some corporate greed in there with high demand and raise the prices of GTA Online to like potentially 50 to 60 bucks, almost a full price game. And then they're also probably going to get really stingy with the mods, because this time around they really do not like modders at all for the last couple years on Grand Theft Auto 5, especially with online. So I have a feeling they might release the game and code it to the point where it's going to be really hard to mod the game potentially and try to work around it, because there are some games that are like that where it's really hard to mod. So modders are going to have a fucking field day to try to get around that shit, similar to like how people would try to jailbreak a console when it first comes out. I don't know, man. Like this time around, I just don't seem to trust the hype around GTA 6, and especially with Rockstar, man. They've been doing a lot of shady practices the last couple of years as well, anti-consumer practices with all the companies all across the board. And I feel like it's going to be more of the same with that, and a lot more people are going to be very disappointed within the game with like the modability and the playability too, because those mods in the older games really made the game last as long as they did. But who knows as well. I am open to the possibility of being wrong about this, but so far there's a lot of things that have not been very positive within this type of new AAA game releases. I've honestly been looking forward more to the indie releases more than the AAA releases, to be honest. But I don't know, man. I'm just very concerned. I do truly believe that it is a good thing they are taking their sweet ass time with this sequel, because that means it might be a good game still. But at the same time, man, Kingdom Hearts 3 also took forever, and it's kind of giving me that similar vibes this time around and everything. And I don't know, man, you just don't know what could happen. The good thing is, I guess, with Grand Theft Auto 6, they didn't have to re-scrap the engine and everything and kind of start over like they did with Kingdom Hearts 3. But only time will tell. I'm just really surprised it's taken over a year just to get a second trailer, and that's crazy too. Because Kingdom Hearts 3 also took like a shitload of fucking trailers like over the years too before they got a release date. Anyways, I hope things do turn out the best they can be, but this is just an analysis and potential like grudge I've been kind of holding back about GTA 6 a little bit, and I really don't want to feel this way, but it's just, you gotta be skeptical nowadays about stuff like this. Also, guys, thank you guys so much for listening. What are your guys' opinions about Grand Theft Auto 6 and the hype around it? Are you guys hyped for the new Grand Theft Auto game? Are you guys kind of worried about it? Or you guys just don't even care because you may not even be a fan? If anything, feel free to just leave a comment in the comment section below, And I will like to hear other people's analysis about Grand Theft Auto 6 as well, because there's also different opinions, and this one might be a very controversial. I really do hope that Rockstar can come in clutch and come in with another banger, but I gotta say, man, it's going to be a very hard thing to do, so we'll see. Alrighty, laddies, I'll see you later, and y'all stay cool.